In Sabbateanism, the holy fraud, or 𝗧𝗏𝗱𝗏, was rooted in the belief that deception, and even outward sin, could serve a divine purpose. This idea drew on Lurianic Kabbalah, which taught that sparks of holiness were trapped in the realms of impurity and needed to be redeemed. 𝗧𝗿𝗶𝗁𝗶𝗴𝗲's dramatic conversion to Islam in 1666 became the defining example of this doctrine. His followers interpreted the act not as betrayal, but as a deliberate descent into the other side to liberate divine sparks. Under this theology, hiding one's true beliefs and pretending to follow another faith was itself a sacred act, and even breaking religious law could be justified as a mystical necessity for redemption. Some Sabbateans took this further, engaging in transgressive rituals under the conviction that turning evil into good was the quickest path to hastening the Messianic era. Jacob Frank inherited this concept and pushed it to its extreme. For Frank, the holy fraud was not just a tool, but the very cornerstone of his theology. He taught that the Messiah must pass through every faith and every boundary, including the complete inversion of religious law. When Frank and his followers converted en masse to Catholicism in Warsaw in 1759, they presented it not as apostasy, but as a mystical mission to redeem the sparks hidden within Christianity's Edom. Outwardly adopting another religion while secretly maintaining their own esoteric beliefs became a sacred obligation. This dual identity created secret Frankist communities who appeared Catholic in public, while privately following their own messianic teachings, often overlaying Christian symbols with hidden Kabbalistic meanings. Where Sabbateanism had used the holy fraud to justify concealed faith and necessary compromise, Frankism transformed it into a radical doctrine of total transgression. For Frank, redemption required the breaking of every law, the erasure of all boundaries, and the masking of truth behind a carefully crafted facade. What began as a theological explanation for 𝗧𝗿𝗱𝗏𝗍's conversion became, in Frank's hands, the defining principle of an antinomian religion built on secrecy, inversion, and the belief that deception itself could be holy. By way of deception, thou shalt do war, is most famously associated with the motto often attributed to Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agency, though its exact historical use as an official motto is debated. The phrase encapsulates the idea that misdirection, disguise, and strategic deceit are not just tools, but essential weapons in conflict. It frames deception as a form of warfare itself, not merely a tactic within it. When seen alongside the Sabbatean and Frankist concept of the holy fraud, the resonance is striking. In both cases, deception is elevated from a practical necessity to a guiding principle. For Sabbateans, concealing faith or even feigning conversion was not just allowed, but sanctified if it advanced redemption. For Jacob Frank, the act of hiding truth behind a mask became the very path to salvation. In this sense, by way of deception, thou shalt do war, could almost serve as a secular echo of the same logic, that transformation, victory, or redemption requires misdirection, the breaking of appearances, and the deliberate use of masks to achieve a higher end.